Hello, ballers, and a brofist to you all. It's Daily Thursdays. Thursdays Daily, the only daily that matters. The Daily Preach, of course. Oh, yeah. We had some great times leading up to the stream. We got our swagger on. It's amazing what you can find on music stations when you type in the word swag. I suggest you try it. Hours of entertainment instantaneously. Instantaneous hours of entertainment. Welcome to the Daily Preach. Thank you so much for tuning in with me live. Many of you there. And of course, those of you on YouTube. Don't worry, I don't hate you. I understand. Not everybody can reach things live. That's fine. It's fine. We're going to be doing something that should help great many of you. Especially if you are new to World of Warcraft. We're going to be looking at how you write a guild application. Yes, we are. We're going to look at how you do. We're going to go through the do's, the don'ts. We're going to make things all very, very cool. Lots of things to go over, but I'm going to try and keep it, you know, prompt and to the point. We're not going to drag this bad boy out in any way. We're going to make it work as it should do. A good application is not easy, and a lot of people don't like doing it. And for good reason. They feel like WoW's not a job, right? World of Warcraft is not a job. And it's not, and it shouldn't be that way. World of Warcraft is not a job, but a good application buys you many things. You can instantaneously get a good reputation with a decent application. You can. And you can actually buy yourself several mistakes you might make in your first couple of raids because you're nervous, you don't like it, whatever. And also with the advent of Thunderforged items, the miracle grow of 25-man guilds, apparently. Lots of you are looking to go to 25-man guilds, so we're going to be talking about that as well. Now, luckily, I asked some of you to send me what you would consider for your guild application. Some of you did. Some of them were okay. Some of them were bad. None of them were any good, which is good, right? Because we're not really sure how we do this. What information does a guild want? That's not the point of your application. Let's get that straight out the way. When you make your guild application, you are selling yourself. A guild will most often be put together by someone like you, who may not understand the validity of a guild application. They don't. They put things together because it looks professional. Proper guilds have a guild template. Proper guilds do this, and we are a proper guild. Although they generally picked people up in trade chat or whatever. Even the scrubbiest of scrubby guilds who managed to get some sort of online forum like to think they are very special. Nothing wrong with that. Aspire to be good. Some people don't even give you a template. That's when things get tricky. A template is quite easy to follow, and therefore we can get good stuff out of it, and we tend to answer all the questions they need. But when they don't add a template, things are even worse, because we're just not sure what information these dickheads want. So it kind of gets tricky, and we often fall into many pitfalls, okay? So we're going to look at this. Whooshing! Word! Draft this thing out. Okay. Let's start with let's caps lock this. The do nots. These are the number of failures that I see in many applications all the damn time, okay? Every time somebody goes to make me an application and I read it and I see these kind of things, I instantly dismiss them. I do. I was like, you're an asshole, man. You gone goofed. These are the lines you should never ever have in your application. This one. If I can spell. Number 1. I did this from work. Yeah, I did this from work. If you put in your application anywhere that you did this from work, I instantly deny people. I do. You know what it says to me if someone writes that in an application? 1, they rushed it. 1 or 2. 2, you decided one day at work that you decided you wanted to change guilds and scrub together some application in about 10 minutes and throw it together. 3, there will be information missing which is required. I can't post that. I did it from work, okay? Which then leads us into the second most notorious instant decline you will ever get. Wrong. I will do blah, 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 blah when I get home. Okay? I will do something you've asked of me when I get home. A guild application, you don't need to rush it. I know it gets all adrenaline. You get this like fever. I'm applying to a new guild. I'm doing it. Oh, I've got to get all this information out. I'm rushing it. I'm doing what I can. Oh my god, I don't have WoW here. I can't take a screenshot. I can't do this. I can't do that. Do not do that. Don't do that. At least take a couple of days. At least. Okay, I'm not talking 48 hours of typing a guild application, but make sure you have everything. Make sure you have everything. It's important because if you don't, people dismiss you for that. If somebody asks for a screenshot of your UI, which, by the way, is to see if you're keybinded or not. That's why people ask for a screenshot of your UI. See if you're keybinded. That's why they do it. And you can't provide it because you're rushing this shit out at work. You're going to goof up. You've got to goof up. The next thing. I'm 16 years old. Don't do that either. Okay? Doesn't matter if it's true. If you are under the age of 18, just don't put it in your application. Nothing wrong. Lying by omission is fine. How do you think people get really good jobs in their resumes? They lie about shit. It's okay. It's World of Warcraft. No one's going to arrest you. If you are under the age of 18, you just don't tell them how old you are. Because many guilds will not accept people under the age of 18. Why? Doesn't matter why. That's their fucking rule. It doesn't fucking matter. If you are 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 or 17, you just don't say anything. Alright? And if they say, hey, how old are you? Your answer is, I'm 18 years old. You know why? You do not have to send your fucking passport to any guild. Alright? You don't have to do that. If anybody picks up that you did not put your age and asks you how old you are 18 years old. If you're a good player, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Try not to put your Facebook profile in your guild application if you can avoid it. If you can avoid doing that, right? Next big do not. Mentioning loot. Never, under any circumstances in your guild application, do you mention loot. Anywhere. Anywhere, 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 anywhere. Even things like, I don't care about loot. It means you care about loot. Right? I don't care about loot. Okay, this guy's a loot whore. That's what people read. The fact you put the word in there makes people think about it. It's a psychology thing, right? If you mention loot in any way, they instantly associate you with loot. If it comes to a point 2 years down the line where you say, I kind of need that item, people go, you didn't care about loot. Now you're like a loot whore. Just don't mention it. Don't mention it. It's not lying. Just don't mention it. Don't do it. You're just doing crazy things. Next most obvious thing, do not do. Lie in an obvious manner. Everybody lies on their guild application. Everyone lies on their resume. Don't say things like, I have a world first. It's on a different character. Can't prove it. I got realm first of Oh yeah, well your achievements show that you don't have that. Oh, I did it on a different account. I did it on my friend's brother's sister's account. Don't lie about something, especially if it has an achievement associated with it. Achievements are dated. People do this all the time. They try and make themselves into super fucking man. I am the super raider. I am the best thing to ever hit World of Warcraft. I have more world first than you can possibly imagine. Oh yeah? Well, your character quite clearly does not have any of the bullshit you've just told us. And I can check that in under 3 seconds. I can check it really quickly. Whatever your raid progress is whatever your raid progress is. We're going to get around that later. Lying about it and trying to get out of it by saying things like, I have different accounts, it just makes you look like a suspicious, lying bastard. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? Don't lie about something that can especially be tracked by achievements. You're gonna goof up. Don't do it. Okay? Next one. Look at this. It's all out of sync. Can't do that. Next one. Okay? Make your app before your char is ready to be inspected. Okay? One thing you need to understand about people who read guild applications is you are about to enter yourself into a world of nerds who have not a lot of time. There is always somebody in every guild who has more than enough time on their hands to armory stalk you like a complete freak. People who rush apps, who do them at work, log out in things like tank gear. when they're applying for a DPS spot. Check things like, is there an item and I have the reputation for it that I can just buy, which is better than what I have? It's like 60 fucking gold from a Klaxi vendor and I don't have it. Check that shit. Reforge your character. You want to log on to your character before you make your app, gem him to the max, enchant him to the max. I'm not fucking kidding. You can get into a very good guild by having crap gear if you've enchanted it, because it shows dedication. Doesn't really. It's a load of shit. You spent a couple of thousand gold, which isn't hard to get, just logging the fuck out. That's it. Just enchant whatever nonsense crap you have, because you like to be the best. It shows dedication. It shows this guy cares about his character and all this nonsense, okay? All this kind of shit. Make sure your character is ready to be armory stalked, because you're going to get armory stalked. Of course they do. A lot of people just click your armory and don't read your app. Happens all the time. They just look at your application and they just click your armory and see what's going on. If you're not hit capped, you done goofed. If your character is not hit capped, you done goofed. Okay? Because they're going to go, this dude isn't even hit capped. If your main stat is haste and you've reforged your ass all the way to mastery, then you're going to have a bad time because some armory mega nerd is going to be all over you. Okay? Some guy's going to be like, oh, I read on Elitist Jerks that you should do this. Why have you not done this? All this kind of shit happens. It happens all the time, and people just like, ugh, I just don't care. But you can just avoid all that by just spending some time on your character. It is worth just doing this. Reforge, gem it, do whatever, enchant it, then log it out. It's ready to be armory stalked. It's ready. It's done. That's it. You can relax. Whew. Done. Dusted. And the final one is, of course, the most obvious one, which instantly lets me down. Rush. Hashtag rush. Let's put a hashtag in there. Hashtag rush. Can't spell rush. Too many letters. Hashtag fucking rush. Do not rush your guild application. Believe me, rushing your guild application is going to result in failure instantaneously. Or it's a really bad guild, okay? If it's your application is literally a couple of lines long, you gon' be in trouble. You done goofed. You goofed it up. Goofed it up. You're out. Don't rush. Just don't do it. Don't rush your application. Spend a couple of days. There is no huge, immense rush. It's not like if you don't apply in the next 30 minutes that your spot is gone. Most people don't even accept people for about 4 or 5 days unless they're incredibly desperate. People read it, they talk about it. Some of them have officer forums where they discuss the applications. It could take a week, 2 weeks before you get accepted. It can happen. You don't need to apply in the next 10 seconds. Spend some time. Is your character good? Do you have all the screenshots you need? Do you have all this shit? If you do, good. Awesome. So those are the do nots. Now let's cheese up your application. Okay, I'm going to show you an application that was sent to me. This is the application that was sent to me. I obviously changed the names to be mine to avoid, to keep anonymity. We like doing that. Okay. This is the application that this chappie was going to send to his new guild. Let's read it. Name, Preach. Real name, Mike. Class, Warrior. I have 472 tank gear. Item level 470. This. Okay, we'll go through the problems later. A little about myself. I've been raiding throughout Kata and have killed Heroic Deathwing when it was relevant content. I am quick study and I can send all raids, barring family emergencies. I have a decent setup and never had lag DC issues in raids. I am a nice guy and normally get along well with others in the guilds. I would love to try and join your guild. I hope you will consider it. J. End of application. Notes for Preacher. I had some World of Logs from Firelands as that was when I was at my best. English is not my native language. And some info about my old guilds. Okay, this is an instant decline, right? It's a decline straight off the fucking bat. Why? It's too short. This application says everything the guild needs to know. This is what I've done. I've killed Heroic Deathwing when it was relevant. Here's some World of Logs. This is me. It's relevant. You're going to get declined. Okay? You're going to get declined because it's too short. Although, it actually contains everything we need. It contains everything we need. But you're going to get declined because you haven't spent enough time on your app. Don't rush. Pad it out. Okay, so let's fix this. Let's get this baller a guild. Easy mode. Easy mode. This is fine. This is not fine. Okay? You are a warrior. Putting this in it is an instant warrior for me. This is an instant warrior for me. I am a 470 Fury DPS. That has just increased the power of your application massively. I mean, massively. Okay? Especially if it's a better guild. You have 470 DPS gear. Not Fury DPS, not Arms DPS, not Fire Mage, not Arcane Mage, nothing like that. You have 470 DPS and 472 tank. Do not put a specific spec in. Believe me, you're going to get goofed on. You log out in whatever your main spec is and whatever the current top DPS spec is for your class. You should know that. You should know that. You should check it beforehand because you didn't rush. But putting in that you only play Fury, it just reads as I only play Fury. I am a Fury DPS. You're not. You're a DPS warrior. I don't even know yet what you're applying for. I don't know. Which brings us to our next point. What are you actually applying to be? What are you applying to be? I don't know. You have a higher item level tank gear, and I have a lower level DPS gear, but not by much. But what are you actually wanting to be? Nowhere in the application does it say I want to be DPS or a tank. So, let's say you're a DPS. You just do that. I'm a warrior DPS. This is my gear below, followed by, of course, armory. There's my armory link. In those few sentences, you've put together the basics. You've put together the basics in quite a simple, easy way. This is me, real name, warrior DPS, tank 470 DPS. Okay? Now we need to make it better. A little about myself. Separate this out. A little about myself. I've been raiding throughout Kata and I've killed Heroic Deathwing when it was relevant. Okay. Raiding throughout Kata, I want to know what your progress was. I don't want your life story. A lot of people try and pad out an application by putting their life fucking stories. I don't need to know about Bill and Ben that you raided with once. And he's kind of a nice guy, but then he did this thing. I left the guild. And, you know, it was pretty cool. I was in this guild called the Bills for a while. They were alright. They were okay, but like, blah, 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 blah. No one wants to know that. Quick to the point facts, but good facts. Good facts. And we give things titles so people know what they're going at. So you can do things like Section 1, Raiding History. Okay? If you say you kill Heroic Deathwing, you don't need to put it was relevant content. So at the minute, we're just dropping shit out. Now, the first question people are going to be wondering, especially a lot of you guys, is I'm new to the game. The biggest way to win at guild applications is to accentuate the positives, hide the negatives. If you just started the game, your first line in your raiding history will note that, and it will be the shortest line in your application. Easy stuff. So let's say this guy is, I started Cataclysm, which many guys are like, I didn't start raiding until Cataclysm. You just put that in one line. I started WoW in Kata. That's it. 5 words. Done. That is the worst part of this application. Out of the way and done in the first line. Everything else after it is going to own hard. Do you understand what I'm saying? The worst part of this, people get really worried about the fact that people want experience. They want loads of experience. They want experience upon experience upon experience. I don't have any. Right, that's okay. That's a negative. We slap that in very first line. Very first line of the application, I started in Kata. And that says everything you need to know. And after that, we're going to bulk it up. After that, we're going to make it even better. A little about myself. Okay, so we don't need to put that. So we need to turn this line, I've been raiding throughout Kata and have killed Heroic Deathwing. So we want to change that into, I started WoW in Kata, and then something along the lines, I learned my class extremely quickly. I'm not going to be able to type properly today, am I? Too much leveling. Extremely quickly. And I found myself raiding at a high level. When I defeated is always good, Heroic Firelands and all of Dragon Soul. Okay? So the first line there, I started WoW in Kata, then boom, I learned my class extremely quickly and found myself raiding at a high level when I defeated Heroic Firelands and Dragon Soul Heroic. We're not too worried about any sort of fuck-ups in terms of grammar at the moment. We're not asked. We're just getting the basics in there. We're just trying to make sure everybody understands the basics. Okay, you need to get this in. You just need to pad it out and make it a bit better. I've got Firelands Heroic done. I've got Dragon Souls Heroic. And that's it. That's all you did in Kata. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, that's all you did. Now we just pad it out. You did well. You defeated Heroic Deathwing. That's pretty cool. There's nothing wrong with that. And your achievement will reflect that you didn't do it in some sort of cheesy manner. Which is awesome. Nothing wrong with that at all. No, very good. Okay. I am a quick study and can send all raids barring family emergencies. No. No, we do not put any negatives in. We hide the negatives. Of course, the people know that you cannot attend during a family emergency, right? That just goes for everyone. Just goes for everyone. I am a quick study and can send all raids. Okay? I have no issue, and this is where you show that you've checked their website. Please, for the love of God, when you're making a guild application, please check what the guild is. How long have they been raiding? What are their raid times? You need to know this beforehand, because now you're going to mention that you did your research. Shows good. It shows you can do whatever you want. Attending all your raid times. Little line like that. I have no issue attending all your raid times. That's it. You don't need to put that if my mum dies, I'm probably not going to raid. You don't need to put that in. Very important that you just leave things out that are fucking rubbish. No one needs to know that. No one needs to know that. Okay? You don't need to know that. I have no issue attending all our raid times. If you have an issue attending a raid, tell them. I cannot attend Thursday's raid. If it's somebody who's raiding 5 times a week, it's unlikely most people raid all the time. If you have to miss, I have to skip Thursday's raid, that's it. Or I have to miss intermittently Thursday's raid or Tuesday's raid. Whatever it might be, you tell them. You tell them in your application. Because if that happens, you can get kicked. You will get kicked if it's like, you told us you could attend everything. What do you mean you can't attend Tuesdays? Why aren't you here on Thursday? Don't fall into that trap. Don't think I'll tell them everything they want to know. Don't do that, because you're going to get fucked up. You're going to goof up. Don't goof up. Okay. I have a decent setup and I've never had lag DC issues in raids. Okay, decent setup, what does that mean? Okay, so what you actually do is you completely list your PC. I have an i7, blah, blah, blah. GTX Titan graphics card. Don't lie. Just saying that because it's awesome. GTX Titan graphics. ISP equals BT fiber optic. And then you put never drops. Never drops. Unless volcanoes. Or something like that. And you put something funny in. It's okay to be funny. It's okay to drop a little joke in. Everybody has a lag problem at some point or another. It's completely unavoidable. This is the real world. It happens. People who put I never DC, you gon' fuck up. Because you're going to DC at some point. I thought you never DC'd. And some sarky ass twat will leave that comment for you. They will literally leave that comment for you. I thought you never DC'd. All that kind of shit. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen so many times. And you put something in like, unless volcanoes or some random fucking thing happens, okay? Unless volcanoes or the world falls apart, then, you know, my internet drops. But in general, it's very stable. It's always worth to put in something like, pretty much the most reliable ISP I can get. After that, boom, boom, boom. After that, there we go. Pretty much the most reliable ISP I can get. The next thing you do there is you go to speedtest.net and you take a screenshot of your upload and download. Proving things is awesome. Proving things is awesome, okay? You go to speedtest.net and you literally run the test. Don't have your stream running. Don't have YouTube playing or anything like that. As little crap as possible going on your PC. Run the speed test. And then take a picture. And take a little picture and you put that in there, okay? So you put that in there. Speed test pic. Okay? Speed test picture. Put that in there. Get it in, and it's good. Okay. I'm a nice guy and normally... No. All this, you don't put normally. That indicates that you had a problem. The words like normally indicate you had a problem at some point. Putting things in like, I normally get along with everybody. I would change this to, I consider myself. Remember, they are looking for raiders. A good raider. And get along well with others in the guilds I have been in. Something along those lines, okay? You consider yourself a good raider. They are not looking for a best friend. Some guilds might think they want you to be their best friend. You're not looking for a best friend. You're not. You're not looking for a best friend. They're looking for a good raider. I consider myself a good raider. Okay, I consider myself a good raider and I get along well with others in the guild. That's fine. Don't say things like normally or most of the time, usually, all these kind of things. Normally, I get on really well with people, okay? Normally, I get on really well with people. You don't want to do that. Yeah, I'm slutty. I send dirty pictures or anything like that. Don't do that. If you're a girl, I would do a nice test and maybe not even put in your real name. Character name, something like that. Just to be aware that you're not going to get invited because you're a girl, but that's entirely up to you. Some people do like taking advantage of that. I always like to see a girl who find out afterwards. It's happened a couple of times, is when we've accepted somebody and found out they were a girl, and then people get all, ugh. But we've also had guilds who've accepted girls because they're girls, and then they've been really kind of shit, and then abused as because of it. Not abused physically. That would be weird. But it's for good girl raiders, they tend to not play on the fact that they're a girl. Little thing, that's the way of the world. Don't blame me. Don't blame me. Okay, I would love to try and join your guild. Is the next bit. Okay, we're going to chop that out. I'd love to try and join your guild. Right, so that's the bare bones of what he put in. That's the bare bones of what he put in. Now we're going to make it better. Now we're going to make it better. So now we're going to actually turn it into something good. Raiding history. We want to pad this out a bit. This needs to be good stuff, okay? Did you get to become an officer? Anything like that? It's always good to put in a little bit of bullshit, a little bit of fluff, and something like that. One thing we've not mentioned is that we talk on vent. The way we indicate both of those things is quite easy. I have often had the role of announcing and distributing loot. Not something I want to continue with here. Something like that. Or distributing items. We don't want to call it loot. We don't want to say the word loot. It's not something I want to continue. It's not something I want to continue. Okay? We call it items, not loot. It's not something I want to continue, but it says two things. One, I'm a trustworthy guy because they allowed me to distribute items. They allowed me to distribute stuff. And I did the announcing. It means you can talk on vent. You can talk on vent. Both of these things are super awesome. Again, people are going there. Don't say the word loot. Don't say the word loot. Distributing items and stuff like that is really good. It doesn't matter if you never did that. It doesn't matter. But it says a lot about you. It says you are trustworthy and you can speak on vent. Okay? Both of these things are really cool. Putting that into your app is going to get you places. It's good. Break that down into hardware. Hardware. You want section 2. Hardware. Right. Now you want to add another section before we get to the finale. UI and keybinds. Even if they don't ask for it. Even if they don't ask for it. You put this in there. Okay? You put this in there. This is where your screenshots come in. Okay? You need your screenshots. Get them ready. Get them ready to go. Get those links. And go ahead and put your UI in there. Even if they did not ask for it, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Get your UI in there. It's important. It's really important. Just stick your UI in there. Preferably in combat. If you can, get into a raid. LFR and take a picture there of what your raid in combat UI looks like. It should be good. Okay? It should be good. Don't hide the information. Don't hide the information. If you have your keybinds hidden, like I do, make a list of basic keybinds. It takes you 2 minutes. Sometimes you even find out. So you go, you know, 1 equals MS Bloodthirst. And you go on and on and on. And you make a nice little list of keybinds. And now suddenly your application is starting to get a little bit of length to it. And it's starting to be good. Now we have a guy who's keybinded. This is a tip I want you guys to do. Okay, I want you guys to do. As proven with the workshop, it is really, really easy to record yourself playing. It's completely free of charge doing that. Okay, OBS, Twitch, whatever, doesn't matter. You can easily record yourself playing. That is maximum swag. Maximum swag. Okay? Maximum swag. And we want to do that. Get yourself recording a boss fight. The good thing about this is why it's such a powerful tool for guild applications, is you can pick and choose which fight you want to show. You might have 9 or 10 bad fights and one good one. You use the one good one, and that shows you being a really good player. That's what you do. Okay? That's what you do. It's really easy to do. If you can't do it for whatever reason, then obviously don't. But most of you have the capability to download something like OBS or whatever for free and record some boss fights. And then you get to pick and choose which one you show people. It goes a long way. Not a lot of applicants do that. You put in a video of you playing. It's really good. Just put a YouTube link in there. I'm telling you, people will be very, very impressed. And you get to pick and choose whichever one you want to upload. Whichever one you played magnificently on. We always generally have one really good fight. Even in LFR, we have one really generally quite good fight. Do that. Do it. It's really, really cool. Okay? Get a video in there. Get a video in there. YouTube video. Just paste it. And that it puts your application to the next level. It really, really does. Okay. We want to show is, we're going to call that UI keybinds and gameplay. UI keybinds and gameplay. Put YouTube in. Personal stuff. Section 3. Let's put section 3. Can't type at all today. Personal stuff. This is why I've been streaming too long. My writing skills have gone to shit. Personal stuff. What you do is you talk about WoW. People fucking love WoW. These guys love WoW. They're raiders. Talk about your favorite encounters. I love encounters like, depending on what class you are, which one was a difficult encounter for your class or something that you had to do something different in. Okay? People like players who can do the extra mile. You don't want to go, I love patchwork because I didn't have to do shit. As Anko points out. You know what I mean? You don't want to put that. You don't want to put that in there. You don't want to put, I love that fight where I didn't do shit. I just DPS'd it. Alright? I loved it when we brought 13 healers to a 2-healer fight. It was fucking awesome, right? What you want to do, let's say you're a healer. Encounters I like number, this can all be bullshit, okay? A number of encounters, such as Sulong if you were a healer, okay? Whatever it is, I like a number of encounters because, this is from a healer point of view, because it allows me to play in a different way while achieving the raid goals. Something along those lines. Something bullshit. Put it in there. Whichever fight of this current tier in some way allows you to play differently, you mention it in some fashion. Worst encounters. Usually stick something in there that you've done that was really rubbish. If you can't think of anything, Spine of Deathwing is the go-to guy. I really hate Spine of Deathwing. And in fact, Madness of Deathwing. I expected to fight a dragon, but all I got was his lousy tentacles. Something along those lines, okay? Something fucking stupid or daft, a little bit funny. You hate boring fights is what that says. It says I hate boring fights. I don't like them and they're not that interesting. Whatever one you want to put in there, and if you can't think of any, Spine of Deathwing is your go-to guy. Okay? Everybody hates Spine of Deathwing. Jump on board. They'll go, oh, I hate Spine of Deathwing too. Of course you did. Everybody hated it. No big deal whatsoever. And that shows, again, a little bit of consider. And then you put in, I consider myself a good raider. Blah, blah, blah. The guild's in. And World of Logs. Okay. World of Logs. As I say, you should all get World of Logs. It's no good putting in your guild app or whatever that, my guild doesn't do World of Logs or anything like that. I don't want you to do that because you can get your own World of Logs. You can get World of Logs. You don't need your guild. Oh, my guild doesn't record World of Logs. What you've got is a Firelands World of Logs. But you also get a modern World of Logs. You get a modern one. You get a modern World of Logs. You put that in there, and then you also put in your Firelands one. Now, one big thing about this application is you haven't, or apparently you haven't raided. You haven't raided during Mists of Pandaria. We need to know why. And the easiest way to get out of that is after Dragon Soul Heroic, I felt the whole instance was a letdown, which it was. Nobody's going to disagree with you. I felt it was a letdown. As such, I wanted to wait until Tier 1 of MOP was underway to see if raiding would improve. Both tiers, including the Throne of Thunder, look amazing, and I am very much ready to raid again. You put a lot of things in there. Mainly, you hate Dragon Soul. Everybody hates Dragon Soul. Everybody hates Dragon Soul, right? Everybody hates it. Oh, some people don't for whatever reason, but everyone hates that, and people will totally understand that you hated Dragon Soul and now you're ready to start getting Mists of Pandaria. You need to somehow get around the fact that you didn't raid in Mists of Pandaria. You need to get around that somehow, and this is the way you do it. You say, Dragon Soul burned me out, bro. Burned me out. I killed all these bosses. I thought it was pretty shit, so I took a break from the game, and now raiding looks like it's really good. I'm very much ready to get back into it, and that makes sense. It's logical sense. Like, oh, okay, I can buy into that. I can see what this guy's saying. I'm fine with that, okay? I'm fine with that. It's no problem at all. And I like that. All this kind of stuff all adds together. I'm very much ready to raid again. I'm looking forwards to the raiding. If you're going for a 25-man guild, do not mention Thunderforged items or anything like that, okay? Because it looks like you, oh, they're getting more loot, I want to go there. Again, it falls into the loot category. Don't do that. Don't say the word loot anywhere, LOOT. Don't mention it. Don't mention it. All this kind of stuff is stuff you want to put in there. Now, you can pad it out with anything else you want to do, but basically, this is the stuff that you want to do. Now, what you need is a conclusion. Okay, need a conclusion, which is here. Section 4, conclusion. If I can spell it. First, you thank them. Thank you for considering my application. That instantly bypasses the idea of reading it. You are considering it. Then you put in, I consider myself a good raider. Get along well with us in the guilds I have been in. I am very much looking forward to your response. Please feel free to ask me anything you like. Now, they're going to do that anyway, but the fact that you demonstrate that puts in a little bit of emphasis that you want them to do it. That you want them to do it, okay? That you're allowing them, is what you're saying. Ask me anything you want. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Now, after you post this will do. There's a couple of tarty things you can do to this, like put a screenshot of your character looking pretty cool. You want it to look awesome. You want your application to look awesome. So do a little bit of editing, make it look a little bit stand out, all that kind of stuff. Put things in bold. Okay, we'll put the section 1 in bold so it's easier to navigate. Make sure your spelling is correct, which mine probably isn't, but that's okay. Section 3, UI and gameplay. All this kind of stuff. You want them, yeah, you want to come across as confident, ready to go. And we've turned an application that's about 3 lines into a good 3 pages now. And we haven't even done things like list our keybinds, all that kind of stuff. If you want to do things like list resources you go to, like I check things like elitist jerks, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't say too many places, because people are like, oh, did you read this? And then take your goddamn times. Take your goddamn time, okay? Take your goddamn time. Do not be the stalker of the forum. This app will pretty much get you into a guild now. It will. It will. It has everything you need. Covers a lot of ground. You've covered Do You Talk on Vent. Big plus. I'm trustworthy. I used to distribute items. I've raided this. Why didn't you raid in MOP? You've covered that. All this kind of stuff. You've covered everything you need, and it's all the same information that you gave me earlier. 3 pages, well, we're in 3 pages in giant font. It doesn't look like this on a forum. it's a giant font. I'm doing this so you can read it easily in the video. But you wouldn't be that fucking big. This is a house. Is this a house for ants? Okay, it's that kind of situation. It's that kind of situation. So all this information is in there. Make sure you list your information and pad it out really nicely. I'm going to go through it again so you can see it. I would add, only things I would add in there is a picture or two of your character. Looking good. A nice little line to put in there. Additional stuff if you want to. Let me just put this at the bottom. Additional stuff if you want to do this. Now, this is kind of stuff that's little white lies that can get you a long way. I very much enjoy alt raids. Even if you don't enjoy alt raids, it's a nice thing to put in. Because if you don't enjoy alt raids, you can always say, I haven't really got enough money to transfer another character now. Always good to do that, okay? I don't really have the cash to transfer more characters. It's always nice that they think they have backups. It's always nice that they think they have backups and alt raids and stuff like that. I very much enjoy alt raids. Even if you don't like them, you just say, I haven't been able to transfer my other characters yet, or something came up, I can't join this one, blah, blah, blah. But they like having people who enjoy alt raids, because somebody in the guild will. A lot of people don't, okay? A lot of people don't, but some people do. Also, resources to check. It's kind of nice. I read. Where do you get your class information from? In essence, just put elitist jerks. People tend not to complain too much about anybody who reads elitist jerks. Things like that. I'd be very careful about mentioning YouTubers. Don't say you watch things like Swifty. I wouldn't even say you watch me. People will go, oh, I saw that video and I didn't like it. Things like that. Reading and mathematics stuff, they really like. Okay? Guilds tend to really like that kind of stuff. Put you read some fucking resource, okay? I read some website that's very mathy and very complicated and all that kind of shit. People buy into that. I don't know why. Most of them won't. Most of them won't. All you need to add is a current world of logs, okay? But please take your time. Okay. Take some questions. Okay. So that's the basis of it. That's the basis of it. I might post this on the website. What I'll do is I'll write it out properly. I'll write out my application, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to write out my application to a guild, and you can use it as a template. I'll put that on preachgaming.com in the next couple of days. I'll try and get it up there for Monday, all right? We've got the web show on Saturday. What if you've never raided before but have full enchants and reforged for item 1 level? You need a really good World of Logs. Okay? You need a really good World of Logs. You can still do all this stuff, remember? All we need to change, if you've never raided before and you're trying to get into a guild, your raiding history is all that needs to change. Everything else stays the same. Your hardware section stays the same. Your UI and keybinds and gameplay stays the same. You can still do a YouTube video, and your personal stuff can stay the same. That's fine. So, never raided. Firstly, your first line. The negative is you've never raided. So, your section 1, raiding history. Now, obviously, if you've never raided, you're not going to get into some world first guild. That's not going to happen. So you're applying to a guild that's necessary. So let's say I started... When did you start? If you've never raided. When did you start? Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I started... Remember, get the worst part out immediately, and then we're going to cover it up afterwards. Worst part, smallest section. Best bit... Big section. Hide the negatives, accentuate the positives. That's what we're doing all the time. Don't feel like you need to justify yourself in some fashion. Don't do that, okay? If you have something really negative like you've never raided before, it's the smallest part of the app, and then we build on it afterwards, okay? Pretty easy. I started late in Kata. That's it. I started late in Kata, okay? Since I started WoW, I have tried, I have tried both PvE and PvP. However, my love for the game, remember love, big words, all this kind of stuff, my love for the game lies in PvE. In order to succeed at this, I have joined. Have you joined any pugs? Let's pretend you haven't. Let's pretend you've never done anything. I have raided as much as possible in both LFR and any pugs I could pick up. Performing well and above the players in both areas. Doesn't matter if you haven't, okay? Doesn't matter if you haven't. It doesn't matter. Because you're going to pick the World of Vlogs where you did really well, and you're going to pick the YouTube video where you did really well, which is going to back up what you're saying here. Okay? You can twist this a bit. If you had a really bad fight, you're not going to use that World of Vlogs. If you had a really terrible fight, when you're doing your World of Vlogs for your guild app, you want to be the #1 interrupter. You don't want to take any damage. You want to be right at the bottom. You want to do good DPS, good healing, all that kind of stuff. You really need to work on these things. Make sure your dot up times were amazing. You didn't miss a cooldown, blah, blah, blah. And you can spend a couple of weeks doing that. You can easily spend a couple of weeks doing that. It's no problem. It's no problem. Both areas, as you can see in the wall I provided, and the video below. So you're actually telling them, hey, look, okay, that's the bad bit. Those 5 little words are the worst bit. Look at everything else that comes after that, and then you provide evidence. Bang, bang, bang. Very, very easy to do, okay? Worst part, poof. Everything else, super fucking awesome. You've got a video, I've got World of Vlogs. More than any of those guys will have provided. Look at my interrupts. Look at this. Look at this. All that kind of stuff. All that kind of stuff. You can pile into this. Worst bit. Smidgy, smidgy. Everything else, really good. And remember, you can take your time. You can take your time and you're going to do this, okay? Alright? Really, really cool. Put in all this information. Now you've got evidence. Look at my logs. I recorded them myself. Look at my YouTube video showing me play. All this kind of stuff is going to go down really well. Especially, look, I know I don't always endorse this, but make sure you can see, if you're doing a damage one, make sure you can see your damage on the World of Vlogs, on your LFR damage meter, on your YouTube video. Okay? Even if it means you have to run that LFR several times until you get groups that are like generally quite bad and you don't get those heroic guys. Try not to run it on, say, a Wednesday or a Thursday. Try and run LFR over the weekend, and you'll generally get a lot worse players in there. You guys know this. You know if you run LFR towards the end of the week, you'll get the worst of the worst players who are lazy, all that kind of stuff. Simply go ahead and run LFR then, and you'll generally be the top of the DPS. It's just naturally the way it goes, okay? If you've got a bit of gear behind you, you should be okay. If you run it on a Wednesday or Thursday, you're going to get some heroic guys in there who are going to stomp your bollocks. Make sure you can see yourself in your LFR doing decent DPS, okay? Stomping way and above people. Make sure you're doing the interrupts. Prioritize it. Even if you're slacking interrupts, for one fucking raid, do your interrupts, alright? And you've provided the information below. So simply, hey, I started late in Kata. Done. Since I've started, I've tried both PvE and PvP. However, my love for the game lies in PvE. In order to succeed at this, I have raided as much as possible in both LFR and any pugs I could get into. I have also done extended reading on my class via various sites, e.g. Elitist Jerks, just stick that in all the time. Elitist Jerks, the go-to place. Performing well above players in both areas, as you can see in the World of Vlog I provided and all that kind of stuff, okay? Alright? Very easy. Very, very easy, okay? Very, very easy to do that. Don't lie. What's this? What's this one? Preachy, what if I started in private and I have no achievements in Blizzard? I don't know. If you're in a private server, good luck. Anybody wondering what World of Vlogs is? There are 3 or 4 videos on my channel taking you through each stage of World of Vlogs, from installing it, setting up, and things to look for. The first video, it's just called World of Vlogs on my channel. Go to there and you'll be able to find it, install it, and run your own logs and record yourself playing and all that kind of stuff. You'll have no issue doing that whatsoever. No issue doing that. Do you have any other questions related to making an application? Okay. Any other application things? I'm not sure if my chat's crashed again. The chat has crashed several times. I'm going to reload it one more time. I hope I've answered everything there. And this should get you into a guild, no problem. It really should. It should get you into a guild, no problem at all. I can't see anything. It's all blank. The chat's gone blank, unfortunately, which kind of sucks. I can't see any of you typing, which is a pain in the ass. Okay. Alright, I'm going to call it there. I'm going to upload this to preachgaming.com. A template so you guys can just change and swap any information. I'll do like variations. One not raided, One not raided, one done some raiding, and one with old school raiding, which you guys will probably be alright. You guys will probably be alright. I can see the chat now. Professions, yes or no? They can tell from your armory. You don't need to mention it. It's just superfluous information. Your professions are in your armory. So they can see it straight away anyway. If you can link an old achieve with achieve, if you've done achievements on different characters, no reason not to post that. I wouldn't cheese anything, any achievements or anything that they can't find on your armory. If you've done an achievement like a Realm First or some sort of good kill on a different character, link that character's armory and say, here's the achievements for these kills here on this character. That's what you do. I'm an old raider. Biggest achievement is Algalon 25 Realm First Holy Paladin. I took a break and got back with Mop. How do I make my old achievements as a healer worthy? You don't mention anything other than what you did, okay? You word it, instead of saying, if you're applying as a DPS, on my Holy Pally, you might be tempted to write something like, on my Holy Pally I got a Realm First Algalon 25. And then you might be tempted to say something like, I know this was as a healer, blah, 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 blah. Oh, show the Word document. Okay, I got a Holy Pally, I got Realm First Algalon 25, and then going to say, I know I was a healer there, or something like that. You would just put, I would put something like, notable achievements, Realm First Algalon 25. Something like that. Okay, something like that. And then below it, somewhere, I would put Paladin Armory with this achievement. Okay, Paladin Armory with this achievement as proof to back it up, which comes across cool because you've said it and you've got proof. What you've done now is you don't need to say you were holy, you don't need to say you were ret, you don't need to say you were prot. Here is the Paladin, here is the achievement. That's it. That's it. That's all you need to do is, there's the Paladin. You don't need to say it was a holy pally. You don't need to say it was a prot. You don't need to say it was a ret. Notable, here's the Paladin. What if they ask about my rotation? You should know that. You should know your rotation. Okay? If you're ready to raid, you should be comfortable with your rotation. No application. Look, the main point is this will get you a chance into the guild, okay? This should get you into the guild. After that, it's on you. After that, it's on you. I can't play the account for you. This is on you. So you should be comfortable before you apply with playing your class. If you're still uncomfortable with playing your class, you should still be trying out LFR and getting more comfortable. That's what you should be doing. Once you're ready to join a guild, you feel confident. And you should be ready if you're doing decent DPS and decent healing, decent tanking, all that kind of stuff. Then you go and do your application process, and you'll be fine with answering those kind of questions. Well, if I only have start at 450 item level gear, should I do more LFR first before applying? I would be careful, unless if you've got no raiding history whatsoever, like no raiding history at all, and you have the very basic starter mop gear, I would say you're probably not quite ready to raid anyway. And doing some LFR is no bad thing. Bear in mind, the timing of this is quite critical. Patch 5.2 ups the drop significantly of all the other gear in the old LFR raids, and you should be able to gear very, very quickly in them. Always worth bearing that in mind. That you can get a lot of gear very quickly in the next couple of weeks. Okay? You can get a lot of gear very, very quickly. So bear that in mind. Raid for me. Any other questions? You should do what we've just done, Gromag. If you're a tank and you're ready to join a raid, you do the same thing, and you use this. I started late in Kata. Since I started WoW, I've tried both PvE and I love tanking, and here is me performing. Exactly the same. This works for anything. Healer, DPS, anything. If you have no raiding history, this is the paragraph you need. This is the paragraph you need. The same thing, okay? Again, I'll put it on preachgaming.com by Monday. Alright? I'll make it so it's nice. I'll make it easy. I'll make it easy. Gnome's question. Did I miss that? No, he said, what if I raided vanilla early Wrath, then stopped and came back in early Kata on a new account and don't have the only account left? Should I mention the old raiding? I'm going to have to say no. Because no matter how honest you're being, it sounds like a lie. No matter how honest you're being, it sounds like a lie. Unfortunately, it sounds like a lie. It would be worth telling. It might be worth mentioning something like I played in vanilla, got rid of the account, and just said that. But I wouldn't try and play on those achievements. Let's say you killed Kel'Thuzad in vanilla. No one's going to believe that. It's fair enough to say I played in vanilla, I raided in vanilla, and I've took a break since now. I gave my account away. I got rid of it. I wouldn't say you sold your account either. I wouldn't say that. I say I gave it to your brother, gave it to your sister, whatever. You gave that account away, gave it away to a friend, something like that. Don't say you sold your account. Guilds don't like people who sell accounts. They don't. They don't like people who sell accounts. Don't mention that. But don't rely on that. Don't go, oh, I killed Kel'Thuzad in vanilla, got rid of the account, blah, blah, blah. Because nobody's going to believe it. Nobody's going to believe it, and that's a bad thing. Okay, that's a bad thing. It's unfortunate. If your account's got, my mage doesn't have the achieve, and you can't prove it. Again, that falls under the don'ts. That falls under the don'ts. If you can't prove it, don't do it. It will come across as an obvious lie. It will. That is the way of the world. That's not me. That is just it. It's the way it is. It's the way it is. It's not me. It's just the way it is. Hey guys, you're trying to inspire a ghost in the wish. Won't get it till Thursday. Okay, I'm going to put these up. I'll do a couple. I'll do a couple of applications over the weekend. And yeah, as Pally says, anything you can't prove, don't mention it. It sounds like a lie. It sounds like a lie. Okay, I'll put up some templates for you on preachgaming.com. But those are the basics. Make sure you remember the don'ts, okay? The don'ts are the most important bit. Don't put in things like I did this from work. Even if you did, it doesn't matter. Just don't rush it. I will do blah, blah, blah when I get home. Don't do that. Don't say you're under 18. Don't mention loot. So skirt around it if you can. Don't do anything that can't be proved by... if an achievement doesn't exist, don't lie about it because people will just assume you're a lying motherfucker. Don't make your app before your char is ready. And please do not rush an application. Do not rush an application. Alright? Don't rush an application. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to be leveling tonight, but I will not be streaming it. Unfortunately, I will not be streaming it for various reasons. But it is Drama Friday tomorrow. It's Drama Friday tomorrow, and we've got a good selection of stories. And of course, it is Web Show Saturday, and it's Ghosty's birthday. It's a drinking game web show on Saturday evening. Alright, it's drinking game Saturday evening. So if you're old enough to join in and it's at the appropriate time for you, join in. If not, don't. Alright guys, take it easy guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.